Back. So today is a story writing day. I think I'm gonna just alternate between story and code uh, until either the code is done or the story I think is done. Which is gonna be a different problem, but I think that will be more so just reference getting when I get to that point. Let's see. What is there? Um, so the character's motivation is revenge. Their reason for revenge is their village mentor, maybe pets killed. Um, we want it to be a cycle of revenge. I don't know who yet. Yeah. Just some character ideas as well. If I want to use a group, it could be a military action. If I want to use an individual, it could be a personal revenge for that individual. I don't know. How do I make the destruction of a village a personal thing? How do you make someone have a... Why would one person destroy an entire village for revenge? How does that work exactly? Because I can understand them destroying it if they hate everybody in that village. Does it mean they hate the tribe indiscriminately? Does it mean they hate a person and then everybody else is just severe collateral damage? But if they're just going for their target, is there really going to be that much collateral? I don't know. Okay. Um, didn't I? Oh, wait, no, that means since I already answered that, all of these are by the starter. Okay. What does main character hurt? What's the reason? Main character. Pay to pet birds. Do they still have care for life around them? We do a stage 1 and a stage 2 of the character. Maybe a 3 as well. Stage 1 before revenge. During revenge. After or just before revenge. Tab here, tab here, tab here. Um, these ones for sure. In stage one, they're young. Some flotches on my laptop. This is during, for sure. Do they lie? Are they lying at all? If so, when do they lie? Does the main character lie? It's probably not. Well, just because they're seeking revenge doesn't mean they're not an honest person. But are they seeking revenge and a dishonest person? It's the question I should... I don't know. This is why it's a question. With an answer I don't know. With a reason I think I want it to be a kind person, or a kind character. Kind... Someone that you might meet along the path of revenge. There are a lot of innocent people, a lot of families, people you've been harmed, people with a want for you to harm the opponent. There's a reinforcement of the behavior that you want to do, and there's disencouragement of the behavior you want to do. Path to Nowhere. Is there a Path to Nowhere story that I can use as a reference for the revenge story? I think the second story set of the main story, which would be what area? The West Bank, I think it's called. Yeah, probably the West Bank, I think. West Bank seems like the place that has like the most hatred for the main city because of being treated as lesser. But that's a different reason of revenge. That's societal, not personal. Okay, let's ask the internet for personal revenge stories. Um, in games or books. What is this? Interesting. Okay, motivations. Yeah, I think this is what I'm going with right now. Um, the plan. Okay, exposing antagonists. By reading this, I can think of a bit more who is the main character becoming, such as becoming either ruthless or not. Um, do I want them to turn out wholly bad? Do I want them to turn out good? Do they need to care? Do I want them to turn into a character who tries to seek justice in a destructive way? That's an interesting point. But I'll play back ideas for subplots. don't really know. Kind of, but like, I haven't played yet. Don't know. Don't know what the. I haven't played any of this. Is Reddit a good idea to click on? I don't know. Mm, I haven't played a lot of these. Uh, Hamlet, really? Yeah, no, actually, so many people are killed in Hamlet that it's just a lot. If this is the right Shakespearean play that I actually remember having to do a English class on. Mm, so many people are harmed. Um, I think I, I think I like the group idea better because then I can use an army. Okay. Q4. Go to speech, check character, get, then revenge. Or is it taken by someone else? It's a question that doesn't have a ton, but I find it intriguing. Yes or no? And then if so, how does it affect them? There's some of the remembering Hamlet because there's just so many things that happen. Um, but then again, they're related to each other. They don't have like a complete disconnect from each other. Who gets harmed along the way? A lot. Women, mostly because it was more racism at the time of Shakespeare. Um, um, Not just killed, but also treated like objects because Shakespearean time is just not great. Not a great time. Here we got some stories, but I don't know if that was the best thing. Many men are destroyed. And then there's an invading army that just gets to take over. Hmm, Might be convenient. Yeah, another point. Women should not be abused. Where could this be? I really like the idea of having a Tanya the Evil in a story. Or something similar. Child, female military volunteer commander at the age of like 6. One, it's funny to have a child run the military, and two, it just gives them evil. Much more interesting character when they have so much power, are a child, and people listen because it's the military, and military actually requires respect. Especially if she's the cruelest person in the army. Tanya is a very interesting character. Okay. I have character settings. I think I need a little bit more. I need another note for plot order. Put like starting village. Um, it gets destroyed heavily. Um, Main character, important people get killed slash harmed. My phone is not charging fast because it's old and I don't have it connected to an actual outlet. Maybe I should change that because there's an actual outlet. Hopefully it charges faster. Um, Main charge is hiding, but sees everything. Um, Village is burned to the ground. Main charge is what happens to the main char in the village? Hurt by fire, but had a decent meal. Main char stars, trying to find a place to go temporarily. How old is the main character? Like kids are more emotional. So maybe like a teenager, teen. But like in olden times, teenagers were essentially modern day adults. But they had the mentality of 30-year-olds in some places. Oh, my neck being painful. If this is charging faster in this. Seems like that again, 2% of the time, much faster. Alright. How old? Teenager. Probably not an adult. Are they a kid? Let's say less than 10, less than 12. Teen, which is just teens, so which sign is the correct one I want to use? I don't remember. If they're a kid, I think lying would be like something they would maybe learn and not have any consequences for at home. Which means they would, or at least less, because they didn't grow up enough. Do they have the ability to survive? They could hunt. Right. Are they ever found by anyone? I don't know. Wait, Tanya the Evil has a revenge story that's like character that is extremely emotionally motivated, just does not care about anything. Their sole focus is primarily on their target. If you watch one of the movies, or the movie, you'll see it. It's not too much spoilery, but it's like revenge is heavy. Mm, the target, of course, and they start violence immediately. Yeah, that's a much faster charge. I'm charging through my laptop because I have forgotten that I have a bit into a wall. I hope I get my new phone soon. Oh my god, my neck is just in pain. What is it that's causing this? Is it a tendon? Is it just the spinal cord bone that's in the neck? That's the most painful there. I don't Let's explore if they don't get their revenge. How does it affect them? The anger stays even more than if they got their fire. Yep, on order. Um, they start hunting and work via violent means. Let's see. I think they might be a mercenary, military, what other works are violent? That's what are violent jobs a person can take on a path of revenge? Maybe I haven't moved down too much. Hitman, assassin, bounty hunter. Bounty hunter seems decent. What is this miss? This one seems like decent. This one seems decent if they want to find it, their target, more easily. This is an option, but I don't know if a child, if they would like to do that. Bandit, maybe. I don't know. Bandit. I think that can be figured out later. Okay. Um, training. That's their training. How do they gain the information of their target? Okay. Uses an info network to find out who they need to kill, harm, want. They want to harm. This is an information network to find that they got by hurting a person in it or through building relations via business. Business with an I. Business, I don't feel like should be spelled that way. It just doesn't seem right. Okay. Then they would be tracking the target. They would track the target. They would track the target. And fight some obstacles to meet target, and they meet target. There's a question mark here for another point that still has yet to be decided. Where do they meet the for training and Metroid? Yeah. Metroidvania aspect of it. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it like that. Let me see the spelling of Metroidvania. Yeah, it's a dictionary. First thing, Metroidvania. But first job is given, and a few are not, are a few can be done in different, in a selected order. I think that works. That makes backtracking a thing that could happen. I'm gonna put a question mark here on first job player meets voice of reason. I've just been calling them voice of reason. It's just what I have here. Okay. After story is done, move to another person harmed on pie chart. Um, how would they casually meet this voice of reason, which, it doesn't have to be one character. Could be multiple. But I think one character would make more sense for conversation consistency or conversation understanding. or just understanding the character a bit more. Yeah, I think it would be better for it to be one character. Mm. What do they talk about? What does the main character say? Do they meet in combat? Do they meet in a decently neutral area? Do they meet for like information exchange? For just talking? Casual chat? At a shop or something? My finger has some pain. Okay. What is it about? This is more like some questions. Or questions to help her confuse. Because maybe actually it is confusing. Oops. If okay, so if they're remembering their person to be targeted, then I'll recount their reminder. If they're targeting the group, do, do, do. I like the group thing, so what do they remember? They remember a badge. Let's put that in the plot order. And remembers a badge or crest or something of target. Remembers. There's a D in there, apparently. keep it on light as I can. Uh, that before, not after. This thought just hurts. The, the main character meets a family. They feel either jealous, yes. How do I spell jealous? I don't know. I've never spelled this word. It never comes up in me having to type things. Jealous, sad. They feel jealous, sad, envy. Do they feel empathy? Which I need to check the definition of this word. Ability to understand or feel our feelings of another. Nope, that is not correct. Feel jealous, sad, envy. Empathy is the wrong word, so what did I mean when I said empathy? What I probably meant was, let me think. Maybe a reaffirmation. Um, do they give any advice? I don't know if they would give advice, but the meeting of family thing would definitely feel hard. It would hurt them a little bit by seeing what they don't no longer have. Looking bad at the past, not forgetting about the past, being stuck in the past. Where's the feeling of this loss? Um, Stages of grief. Uh, Denial, anger, bargaining, which is depression, anger. internal anger? Okay, plot order. I'm gonna put plus in progression because this actually seems to be reasonable. I'd like to spend a good 10 minutes in this area. Yeah, it definitely makes sense for a mentor to be here. So, main character, important people, other stuff, is taken care of by family. And mentor. Mentor teaches them a few basics of fire magic. Also, the tutorial for combat over a few years, in quotation marks, um, in minutes, sorry, in brackets, I think, in a few minutes. Human shows a basic or player learns a basic combo on a moving target because nothing is going to sit still in a real fighting game. Um, that also walks to uh, can pet the pet. Just just put that in there. Taking care of family and mentor for a few years. Mentor teaches them the basics of fire match, also the tutorial for combat, and one motion input special may maybe two. Since they're young, they're just learning the basics, which makes a ton of sense. one or two special inputs seems reasonable for like the start of the game. Um, we could do a projectile. Okay, what is the basics of fire magic and what's common basics of fire magic? Common basics of fire magic in that fireballs, jets, flames, blast, burn, area denial, walls, sustained burning effects, explosives, heat, light, environment, weapon enhancements, defensive. I think explosive would be good. The fire magic for combat. I think a good goal would be just get a hit in for one thing, and another goal don't get hit. So two goals don't get hit hard and get a hit in with a combo. With a combo, or do they just like hit something? Not sure. Don't get hard, I think, is the wrong way um, to word it. Two goals. Defend against the mentor well and get a hit in on time with a combo against the mentor who moves well a lot. Use the full movement system to his advantage, maybe. I don't know. I may have to consider dash attacks. No. I might just not do that. It'd be easier to not have a dash attack. Yeah, defend against the mentor is a good thing for a few goals. And since he's a mentor, I can give detailed, nuanced explanations about the attacks, which is great. Mm-hmm. Apostrophe, armed The mentor, of course, would be fighting, like, easily. He would be going out fighting against them. Probably one of the reasons why he doesn't come back, and then you just go find him killed. Would his death be off screen, or would he defend his his, to the student and everybody around him? I could do like as well against the mentor. I could also do and against another student as an option. Enough time for the player to get well attached to the characters. Um, I don't know how it would feel for speedrunners with this whole starting area and emotional attachment stuff. Well, not for them skipping all of it, but like by just having this sequence and there being no option to skip it makes it like, I mean, they could just complete the goals fast, or I, I can give the mentor a specific AI that if he sees you're ready, you go ready and you use a different sprite the entire game because you're younger. Um, I'd like it to be more guided towards inexperienced players. Hmm. That, or if the player is decently combat focused and has talent or has experience, what happens differently if they do well in the combo and in the trials of the mentor earlier on? Should I give them more trials? Should I give them earlier access to an ability? Hmm. I give the main character the question, I'd like to move fast. Oh, that seems like a good thing. And then I give them a movement option. That would be cool. Um, um, but if the player does it all on the all really quickly, the player gets a movement special early. I think that would be good. I think that would be good. That would be great for speedrunners. I don't want to hurt speedrunners' experience as much, but I do like the idea of having something that's a little bit more speedrunner focused to deal with all the other stuff. If they can't do the motion input on the first try and they're a speedrunner, I'm going to literally just block them from this ability. Or at least the trial of doing it a few times in a row. Do I give it like level 8 CPU or something? Probably too high. Level 6 would be. So, I need a reference first. Street Fighter level 7 CPU is pretty tough. Fairly easy for anybody who's decently experienced. Level 8, it's just actually DIing when it really knows what to do and doing like high damage combos. Level 6 seems reasonable for a high difficulty, but also like easy for speedrunners who are already experienced with games like these. I think it would make a lot of sense for that to be the case. Okay. Definitely a lot more here on the game progression, plot, order stuff. The early plot is pretty good right now. Oh, not all of this is Starting Village. Yeah, that's not Starting Village. Um, Decent in that day. Um, so that's where I want the cutoff to be. Next area. Yeah, another thing I might be able to do with speedrunners is since they're getting their uh, mentor trials done well, the trials with a mentor for combat done well, they can go home early and study. And with that studying, they can learn the crest of the people they need to destroy and go beat them up faster. That's a thing that could be done. Um, um, if player is speed running and doing well, well, HR studies and learns the crest slash bad early and knows who to hunt soon. So you don't have to do like the first mission to gather the information on who you need to get rid of, but then you just need to go complete the parts where it's like get this specific ability that you really need to go get to the other location or something. Yeah. Let me put nothing for speedruns. So that's one thing. Control C, Control V, tab that out, tab that in. Um, use information picked up by hurting a business person through the relations or through building relations via business and one job to earn the crest. Track target, fight some obstacles, and gain abilities. How do I spell obstacles? Obstacle. Okay, I think that's enough for now. I'm gonna go to sleep, rest up, and call it there. Yeah, alright, bye bye.